Hey, what's up, guys? Well, welcome to the new movie that we're gonna talk about. It's gonna be called "Shut Up and Drive." You know, all we have to do is just get to know all those good stuffs and the good patterns that we're gonna talking about in the movie. It'll be something in it, some a little bit more frustration and a little bit more exhausted and peakful and also there is another word that makes it another frustration is the delusional. You know, it's America's a demon, and we have to understand there's a lot of people there. They're making the stupid shit of the whole thing. You know, that concludes black or white people. But if you want to shut up, just shut up and drive. I want you to follow on and follow your own directions if you're driving through the politics. You know what I mean? Just don't get through along. Don't get through along for protest. You know what I mean? All you do, if you're the human being, you have to make this in the right way. Black lives matter, white lives matter, doesn't make any sense. You're gonna have to just lean you down your throats. You know what I mean? All you do, just keep the politics down and keep the things that we need to aware of. You know what I mean? All you do, just squeeze the numbers that you don't want to do. You know? That's just a matter of fact. We have to just earn this shit to the whole thing. And that's not the complication that we're talking about. You know, we're talking about I'm talking about the people who needs to have better facts in this shit. You know? And who has a better way to observe your own act of the people that you need to trust or something you cannot trust. You know what I mean? That's the way it is because people they have to just making all those squeezing in people's business. That's it. All you do, just change the fact that you want to make it your own way. You know, you know. We understand there was a president Donald Trump that he was been in office for 4 years. You know what I mean? Before Joe Biden took over as a good president. You know what I mean? But things a lot of changes since like people that are starting the Civil War. You know, if you're a Trump supporters, you gotta keep it low. You know, everybody was in intention about those politics. They haven't been talking about fake news and all that stuff. But if you're talking about fake news about the media and all this stuff, gotta keep it down after some point. But the only thing that we need to know about this stuff is just you're gonna have to keep your down in your throat. You can't just make it all the shit in the mix. You know what I mean? It's not good. People they need to advantage themselves and try it in the new beginnings. Because me and my Mexicans, we're always in the new beginnings because the 2020s has been very good so far that we live in as majority people in America. You know what I mean? We're the most majorities in the United States because we've been part of the California, New Mexico, Texas, and plus there's everywhere, you know, like every states they do have like majorities, like some cities sometimes, but not that much. It's still like white people they are still around the cross and then around the closet. You know what I mean? You know, black people own DC. You know, that's a fact right there. You know, like that's a new statehood that we just took over. You know, it won't be that matter when black people they're trying to overtake it all. But here's what I'm trying to tell you. If you're white, don't estimate too much about the media. And don't hesitate the media if you're going to keep getting aggressive or keep getting threats and all that. But I know you're angry. I know you're angry about me. I know you're trying to make thoughts about me. If you want to come out at me or talk to me. If you want to talk to me, talk to your face. All you have to do, just change your politeness in your own. There's no such thing what people they just don't want to do and feel that they don't do. Just try and make it on your own. It's not that easy. All you have to do, just set things and try making some more right motive things, you know? But I just don't want you to hesitate anything around the journey and around the people's business that you come around America. You know what I mean? America is just a place that they owned by Native Americans. You know? The natives owned the land when they were just owning them the whole time. You know? And I know racism has been big when white people are trying to kidnap black people. You know what I mean? That's America. Because America has always been building in a whole too much in that project. But if you want to start civil war, don't start. Because I'm only here to shut up and drive in this bitch. Bitch, stay alive. You know why? I want you to make you alive, do the right thing. But people should never start the civil war. I need to get people to learn on this. Because this is the Hispanics communities, Hispanics and Latinos communities, and then these are the Mexicans community, these are the Guatemalans community, Puerto Ricans community, and all that. You gotta listen to the great people that we have. And natives and then Pacific Islanders. That's the people. You know what I mean? Whoever the people have trust in those politics days, since like we used to talk about when Trump was in office, remember that. There is no such thing that we're going to succeed the union for those states. There is no such thing. Because if we got Joe Biden, calm down. This is what happens when people are trying to alert these people what we have to do. Calm down. You're getting so angry. You're getting so frustrations. Let the hell calm down. I'm like, for real. Many people there just like to act and they just don't do. If they act if they don't care like the whole people that we're talking about today, you'll have to do the right thing. You can't just sit there and do nothing and try to think about it like the politics that's coming in your mind and just say some bullshit. You know what I mean? Don't take threats. But here's the way that you don't want to be there from shut up and drive shit. Here's the number one. Number one, do not talk about civil war for the next chapter. Number two, do not talk about slavery. That's going to be a lot of complaint from black people. Number three, do not talk about the real people they're trying to be faking around for the people they were just known about politics and stuff that just come up in the mind. And then when they do, they'll someone kick someone's ass. You know what I mean? You know, people, they have to understand you'll have to use your references. And number four, don't talk about the 13 constitutions. Those constitution rules will have to be protected from freedoms and dignity and their righteousness. You know what I mean? It's the good thing that you need to do is try to make you to make the mistakes to clear them away, and that's it. And number 5, here is number 5. Rule number 5: try and make your own routine from the people that you don't want to do. But the people, they just like to blow out the act and try not to squeeze all those people's shit. That's what happens when people they're not making sense. But people, they need to come up the act and then try again. And that's the way it is, because I can't just sit here and just do nothing. No, I just here just speak up the truth about the people. And rule number 6: listen to God and Jesus. They would have to tell you, if you're being in a ruthless around La Raza, also known as the We the People, trying to make an extra connection to the people they need to do without racism. That includes Lydia, my cousin, because she doesn't know what she's doing. And I don't know why she's just trying to get out of detention from Black Lives Matter. You know, she has thoughts in the head. And then we got the girl from Napa named Jennifer. Well, Jennifer, she's always gets frustrations a lot, so from the politics, so that's that's for sure, because then things gets heavier when we talk about that. That's like the worst condition ever they were talking about, and that wasn't right in this shit. And the last rule for number 7, if you want to deal with shut up and drive, is try to squeeze that conversation down about racism and fake news. Fake news, I don't want to hear fake news. But fake news, it could be around like any presidents of the United States, they used to talk about slavery. Yeah, slavery, that was so like when they started beginning the United States and American news, the other thing is just fake news when they talk about slavery. Slavery is fake news. And then the president Abraham Lincoln's was all about fake news. It was all the crazy dreams when they're talking about birth of a nation or death of a nation. Well, it can be worse, you know what I mean? And then segregation news is fake news. The KKK is fake news. Donald Trump is fake news. And then 9/11 is fake news too, because they were talking about Osama bin Laden. You know what I mean? And then after the civil rights are over, they were talking about the war, the Cold War. That could spread all those lies and fake news, because the people in Russia, people in the different countries and around the Middle East, they like to overturn to say some bullshit. You know what I mean? But that's the way that the United States and America builds its own habits about truth news. When they got the truth news, we got the police officers, we got the firefighters, we got the weather, we got the people that are talking about the news. That's something that has to be more. That had to be more all alternative and all that. You know what I mean? We need to talk about the news. Something is more alternative and more frequency and more and more advertised way that you want to talk about. You know what I mean? But in my understandings, there is a lot of news they can't control it. Donald Trump is fake news, and then Civil War is fake news. Like right now, because I'm pretty sure Civil War is gonna squeeze them down. Or the same thing that could happen would have affected with all those stupid news that we're talking about too. I can't I can't just sit here and talk about the same thing that we heard from Trump. And then we heard everything about the people they were trying to squeeze together. Because that's not what I was talking about. But the problem is there is a people in the United States and America. They need to just communicate and try apologize or do what that they're done. You know what I mean? What could you have been done in the past? Don't talk about those things that are racism. But that's okay. You know, if things goes wrong in the past, people they need to just do your own trust. You know what I mean? But listen to the people that you need to blow up your mind, because there's some history books that we were talking about too. So I believe there is a lot of history in America that was been blowing up like this before. You know, I've been hearing this like for the whole day. You know what I mean? But all you had to do just try and look up is some big things that you want to take a place in, because the only one theory that you need to explain about is be ritual to be important in America. You know what I mean? You can't just complain. You know, complain to all of those presidents in the past, and then just you have to get over it. You know, there's a you have to get it over sometime, because they already took down like those slavery statues and all that stuff. Things could get haunted when all of this and the monuments they don't seem to mind after George Floyd's death. You know what I mean? Because black people want to start the Civil War. That's the problem. If you want to start Civil War, shut up and drive. You know what I mean? That's black people. And white people too. You know what I mean? If you're removing statues, shut up and drive. Think about it. It's been 2 years in the past that we heard everything about the politics. But all you had to do, just do the right thing. You can't just say like the President Joe Biden bill like makes Build Back Better. No. The Building Back Better is something that you want to connect, something else that you want to build, something bigger in America to make something a better connection to with the money, and then the climates, and then also the political minds for black people. They don't have to change their regulation safety. That's Joe Biden. During the Joe Biden administration, he has a flow with his own political minds. You know what I mean? But he earned his trust, but he earned his big deals. But all over the trust, he made it all of those good residential stuff that they can build in the wall, and then travel bans are just reversed, and then plus and they stopped having the Afghanistan war, and then that's why they were trying to get along with America. They're trying to get along because that's what I'm trying to say. Shut up and drive. You know what I mean? Shut up and drive. And don't think about Civil War. Because Donald Trump is gone. He's not going to be around as a presidency. He's not going to be around in 2024. Relax. Okay? That's just what happens when people with the Black Lives Matter are worried about Donald Trump. But I don't think it's going to happen. But in my mind is that the theory is going to change. And the presidency and the legal governments are going to change. And the governments in the states like California and the rest of it, like Gavin Newsom, they're change. But that's okay, because We need to make you understand your utilities, your monumentals, and your loved ones, and then your and your great people like dogs or cats, and then also you have to just trust in the people they want to do. It's that example, of course. Like do the right thing what the people they need to do. If they have to do what it's right for the goodness people, they need to change and challenge their own theories. Right now it's like early in the morning, and I heard everything about what's happening going on in America. America is just seems that they're going to be blasting it between Europe and Africa, and then son of all, there was a lot of craziness like LeBron James used to deal with shut up and dribble. But all you have to do, shut up and dribble. It's good. You know what I mean? Dribble, you have to do the right thing to play the game. Drive means you want to drive yourself. Try to follow along and stay away from the politics and the Civil War. But if you don't understand, if you don't want to follow on, shut up and drive. Go back to Mexico, go back to Africa, or go back to other America places that they live in Europe. But that's okay. If you don't want to get involved, go back where you were, because this country is under attack. Because we need to understand, you need to fire your attention. You know what I mean? But this isn't the same thing that we heard for anything that we need to talk about. But this isn't what I'm talking about. What the people just said. If we heard about slavery, we're talking about the people they need to be. I'm talking about the people they need to be trust and trust the effort for the people they need to live their minds. But I think maybe this is a little bit more too much possible if we have a good community connection with the people. But that's a little bit too far against like hurting people like in America. You have to deal with healing America. You know what I mean? That's gonna be number one, because people just need to get over that stuff. And you don't have to get over the 9/11 stuff, because I understand a lot of white people they've been depressed about 9/11. But I understand your frustrations, because it's extreme dignity that we need to talk about. But I know it's a little hard to understand that you need to open up the politics book. You know what I mean? But that's okay. I think maybe you should understand that you need to think about your real lives. You know what I mean? Your real lives is that you need to open up your what was it called? Like, you open up your mind effect. That's the thing that the USA they need to change the values and the way you need to connect it right, because nothing's connected right in Chicago, nothing's right in Illinois, nothing's right in Wisconsin, nothing's right in New York, nothing's right in Florida or Georgia or California or some states that they just don't have any perfect, because in the political minds they have to do something that's more square space, that you need to be in the better benefits and better better values with money, and then better values with God. I think maybe God needs needs some hope that they need to do, because love is something you do. You can't just expressing and think about depressions and stuff. If you're depressing and getting angered about Donald Trump or slavery, Black Lives Matter, and all kind of stuff, well, try to speak on or try to move on in some different conversation. Just shut up and drive, or shut up and dribble. That's Zeke Legacy and LeBron James. LeBron James did have like a good theory that we need to explain about the great people in America that need to move on. You know what I mean? It's a great thing because shut up and dribble is the finest value, like to think about what's happening in America. Shut up and dribble is something to deal with people there when they're trying to follow the people that are against Donald Trump, against politics, and then Democrats against politics. There is something you can do that can then end up hurting and making all those bad efforts that's been going on in America. You know what I mean? Like, damn, Erica has to do with all those stuff. I'm like, damn, Erica needs to change the law because maybe there is a lot of change that Black Lives Matter should not be around. But that's political mind and pretty scary because all of this stuff that could go on with all those KKK and then all those the regional effect that can be heard on from like Nazis or Jewish community. That's the reckless that we can explain that we heard right here, and that's not okay. People need to like stand up and get up and try to speak up with all those new new talents that I need to talk about. You know what I mean? All you do, just talk about it in your brain. It's okay to talk about something in the real way. If people could get hurt, vomiting or stomping and all by the people they've ever been heard of, like if they were talking about politics, keep that shit down. You know what I mean? Shut up and dribble. Shut up and drive. If you keep talking about Civil War, Shut Up and Drive is about Civil War connection between those conversations between all those fake news and the fake media. You know what I mean? The real media, you'll have to avoid away from fake news people. This stuff is fake. You need to like overhaul the people they need to come up. Because America is no longer family friendly. Because all of this is crap. All you had to do just sit here and try and complete all those good stuff they need to overact the game and overact the politics. You know what I mean? But it's okay, I think maybe in the meantime you need to like feel your strength, and you have to feel your muscles, and you have to just feel it when you get strong to when you talk about some bullshit. But it's okay. But when people that are trying to like are messing with this stupid ideas, try to squeeze in the conversation something else. It's not easy if you're gonna talk about like the same old conversation over and over. You know what I mean? This is what happens to my, like so many people like Daryl, or so many people there like Marquisio, or some people like the other politician people that I've been talking to, or Trump supporters. Well, it can be like we need to talk about something else that we need to follow. But it's not right to make some hate speeches and freedom speeches that you need to talk to. Then who are you going to talk to if you're going to have to deal with something with anger? Do you know who you're going to talk to? Trump supporters? Bush supporters, Reagan supporters, Clinton supporters, who else? Obama supporters, um, and plus there is more too. There is more. Well, George H.W. Bush's fans, like supporters, Bill Clinton supporters, and then also Arnold Schwarzenegger supporters, and even more. but there's too many extra people. They have the words. They can say things that America has been gay, but you should never say that stuff. But all you have to do, just follow your own if you want to have to talk to, because that's not the people that we're talking about. The only thing we need to talk about, you need to talk about something more positive, because the positivity change is something you need to be righteous about, because people, they need to just stay away from fake people. Fake people could be like people that are listening to some like on the radio station like ABCDFU or some things like that. Like suicidal music. There is a lot of issues that come on in the community. But hopefully you understand, because America's fake news is something that had to do with slavery or Donald Trump or it can be any category like Osama bin Laden or any category that would happen about the Cold War. And then police brutality is not fake news. Those ones are real. You know what I mean? If you think about police brutality, that's that's like a me against the world, because if you're talking about the people that you're trying to get on those freedoms like that, they have to just sit around and just explain what they are gonna have to do with all the worsening people they're trying against you. You know what I mean? And then that's the thing, because people, they're just are super outrageous, and that's why people, they should just calm down and try to keep it focused. You know what I mean? And that's the value, like, and then that's the way it is, that you're in the trouble zone. You know what I mean? If America is in trouble, we got the troublemakers that we need to send them back to Africa, or send those white people back to Europe. There is a lot of issues, because I don't think the people won't like it. This is what happens when people, they're just spread all over those political minds, and then there just has been an issue. And that's it. And here's the go-to shit. Nobody doesn't want to be in the fake news media, because in the Civil War, that would be the really worst that can happen, or purge. But here's explained. When people tell you, like, you're a beaner, don't say anything. Walk away. You just don't lean in. If you're a part of me and my Mexican group team, don't say anything. Whatever's saying that's disrespectful to you, that is something that's racist, like sticks, don't say anything. Because racism hurts their feelings. Because that comes to like the fake news people. That they would come in mind. But you're not understanding. You have to make your values to yourself. That's it. Okay, here's the scoop. I can't say things there are stupid, but I can't say things there are righteousness. You know what I mean? I can't say things when people that are just trying to explain and go to the chill zone. You know, I don't know if that's illegal. It's illegal if you're gonna have to deal with all the people that are trying to disrespecting for all the racism and trying to just mush it together. You know what I mean? It's like police brutality. You know what I mean? Or kneeling like George Floyd. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's something you need to talk about. There's big issues about police brutality, and that's almost like fake news because people they need to understand the officers they need to do the right thing for the job and try to get open up to keep up. You know, there is a lot of play dates they need to deal with it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there will be like a lot of cats that are going to be just going to be around for the whole day in America. In the American dream, you have to make your own extra effort that you want to belong. Remember, like when Martin Luther King said, I have a dream for all the people that we have to be behave and show that we were born and rebirth, like for us, because it's better I have to deal with my own rebirth to conversate and deal with what they're gonna have to do. That's the right thing that we need to explain to the right people there how to do. But I can't say things that are not true because people that are just gonna say things they're gonna disrespect you. You know what I mean? Because I gotta have to like, well, you know what? If someone was talking about civil war, I'll be quiet. You know, America has just been doomed by the white people. They've been dominated, and then the white people they're just having coronavirus because there's a lot going on within America. They're just they seem pretty backed up and they're death. You know, like the reign of death, the reign of destruction. You can't just pop in and just pop out the mask and say those words that you don't want to be complaining of. If you're complaining about masks, complaining about yourself. If you got the coronavirus, that's messed up. You know what I mean? That's white people. If white people dies from the coronavirus, they should have been saying what would we have earned, and that's it. And but coronavirus is not the deal that we're talking about politics. That's not having to deal with it. That's nothing I have to do with it with all those people that we're talking about. We're talking about the white people. I'm talking about the white people are trying to invade in their own conversation. That's something that's more bad balance or bad influence or bad ways they can make a worse effort that could happen to my community. But I don't want this happen in people in that. I don't want this happen in people in the cities of San Francisco or Los Angeles or or any type of cities in entire states like Miami, Florida, or New York, or Bloomingdale, or Chicago, or Detroit, or also like Birmingham, Alabama, or any cities, or especially in New Jersey. I don't want this happen. I don't want this happen to any community that would happen. If I become the president of the United States, we can close the Civil War, and then you guys are gonna have to deal on your own and on your honor. Because if I was the president of the United States of America, I will help with the money. I will help the volumes. I will help the brand wall market or whatever. But there's something that I don't want to talk about now. I'm talking about the people. They're trying to squeeze the whole time about the end of the times, or the end of days, or the end of God's willing. You know what I mean? But it's against God's will. If you're gonna have to pretend yourself as the person that you want to be, you want to talk to, that's something that can be helpful, or some things that's not capable enough to be around with the same people and over. That's not right, because that's a fake media person. Because that would end up like people like to get involved in the Civil War and have fight. That's a Black Lives Matter movement group or Donald Trump group. Those groups are annoying. I think maybe they should just leave and do what they want to do. Change their thought and try again. I don't want this happening over and over. But this is a lot of complaining over and on. Because that's going to make it like Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. No. That's not right. But the issue is you want to make it a lot of people to make your own feelings, to make your honor like that. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, I know you're trying to be willing to somebody that you want to have to owe something that you want to owe. Can't owe dollars. You're gonna have to owe on your own. You have to owe it from jobs. You have to owe it from the people that we need to follow your own path. You know what I mean? If you're wanting to be part of your own situation, you can't just sit here and be homeless. You know what I mean? Well, I hope you understand, because that's the people's situations they need to be involved with. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, don't try and do this at home, because that's gonna be us making all those stupid ideas. If you're talking about fake medias and all that stuff, all and everything is just scam. You know, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? But at the end of this video, till later, here's the conversation I need to talk about. The only one thing that we're gonna talk about is when people that are trying to execute the media, they're trying to bring in the news that like someone dies at the age, but that's not happening, because like we're talking about, like there's the people that are just, they like to be faking it, because 2012 era is not, it's not comparable. But this isn't fake news in that media. That's just distinguished, That's just the kind of like a Nostradamus shit that people, they will have a certain life. You know what I mean? But in that certain ways, there's no such thing as a certified gangster. You know what I mean? We need to follow how politics, they were just trying to come in and come out. You know what I mean? But it's the truth, because you have to make your own budget to keep on your own. It could be around about stimulus. It can be around like annual checks. It can be around like maybe like card to card checks and all that. If you earn that from the money from the bank, well, you can pass go. But I'm not talking about monopoly. I'm talking about the money and the fake media that's that's going to be executed. If you want to execute the media, execute it yourself. Because wherever people are there talking comments about the media, don't listen to it. Because that's going to make it all the problems in the social media. But the best thing you need to do is try not to get involved, because the money isn't solved. But it's good that you don't want to have to like space in from the people's media that you want to owe for money. Owing for money, that's against politics and against God's will. If you have your own allowance, that's all good because we already have biggest stuff that we owed from politics. Already owed for the cross, already owed the gum, the water drink, Nintendo Wii, PS5, PS4. Already owed the stuff that we paid from the bank, that we use jackets, shirts, pants, shoes, and all that. This has come from the products, but this isn't from scams. My products are not scams. Products are just are realistic for what God owed me. You know what I mean? God owed me everything because the money is almost just solvable like Christmas. Christmas isn't politics. That's just the fake media that would just post on the right thing. Because if you want to do the right thing for Christmas, you have to be a good person if you want to be tougher in this situation. But there's no such thing as fake money or free money. You have to make your own effort if you want to owe something bigger in your mind. Because no one's going to owe, if your people are, paying bills or something like that. Because, I help all my people there to owe bills or owe food. But everything is just the natural ways. Because in the nature talk, we're trying to have to explain people living in a house and how to do this thing right. That's it. That's just the media controversy. That's just the media converse. There's no such thing as money that will go against people. Or especially when we live in this house. Because I live in this house for about 17 years now. Or 16 years. But that's something that you want to do if you're living your own political move. Like when George Washington administration take over the office, when it happens when they when they owe Mexicans earnest money for the bank. This is what happens. When the volumes get strength up, we can pass go. It doesn't matter. It's like Monopoly. Monopoly is just a game. You know what I mean? When you want to buy something you want to owe for houses or hotels and all that, do what you wanted to complete your own money. You know what I mean? You can't just sit here and complain people and complain the neighbors and all that. No. You can't take visits. That's Jennifer. That's a problem because Jennifer wants civil war. And I don't want that happen. Even for Daryl. Even for every people. No. 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 We owe everything we got the money that we have in this motherfucking colony. We owe this money that we come from America's presidents. You know what I mean? If you're going to complain about those presidencies and all that, go ahead. Tell Joe Biden to stop all those lies, or tell Donald Trump to stop to deal with all those lies too. Both of them. That's both. I don't care none of that. But I just don't want to challenge everybody that was just gonna owe money for 10 million or whatever. But that doesn't matter. If you want to earn money that you want to play games on gambling, it's all good. I think maybe you should give it a shot about that stuff. I think you can try. Maybe there's something you can try. Or especially if you get something from the mail, besides if you earn money from the bank, US Treasury and stuff, maybe you should try. Maybe those presidencies, they can help you. Like Joe Biden did. Because Joe Biden helped with the stimulus checks when they owed the first ones, second ones, third ones, fourth ones, and late stuff. That's last year. But now, Things have changed when Joe Biden would earn up some bigger money. But that's all good because Joe Biden earns the finest. You know what I mean? To an infinity and beyond. We look at this product that we look at it through how many presidents they owe to white Americans to earn rich for. It's that causes about George Washington's family. George Washington's family owed everything because between slavery and without slavery states, it can be bothered from each other. But that's a problem because the money isn't fearless because we have to complain if that's something going on. You know what I mean? But I think maybe it's the best thing you have to do is just change your own plan. Don't listen to the people that are trying to tell you. Especially like who are trying to deal with Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. That's gonna make all the community helpers to let them fired. And get those fired for those son of a bitches if they don't treat their lesson. Especially what happened to Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers fans. They're trying to treat them well. And that's not right. Treat that 49er fans to get out of the places and get that son of bitches down there before they have civil war. If 49ers wins the Super Bowl, that would be the Civil War. I'm serious. But if you're trying to travel about the Civil War, shut up and drive. Everything you need to drive on your own, drive your own money, drive your own jobs, drive your own businesses, drive your own connection, drive your own real media. Do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to just sit here and just talking about fake medias and Donald Trump or anything in that. That's not okay. All we need to know, you need to owe people what we talk about. That's not the right thing what the money is. Because there's going to be many of army soldiers are going to have to go to convert of it. I mean, that's all good because everything is just education connection. You know what I mean? If you're the president of the United States or the mayor or the government, you have to make your connection your own if you're a kid. If you're the kid in this generation, try and be more careful when you're trying to be offered something else. That's gonna hurt people's feelings and hurt your balance of the people that they were trying to love. That's not okay. But that's okay if you're trying to hurt children, but you don't want to do that. Wherever people complain about presidents and all that, well, try complaining on your own. If you don't have who have the real people that they were trying to do. But that's okay. I know it's kind of militia. You know? I think maybe people are doing the right thing. This isn't the spot where we're talking about. This is the spot that we need to talk about how Shut Up and Drive is going to do with all those political minds. You know what I mean? Because that's what the people they need to be from people's shit. You know, that's it can be sweetener or it could be heavy delusional. Well, I can make it up to you. There is a lot of people that are trying to owe hearts to the people in the political mind. You know what I mean? But that's okay. You know, food is just it's not nothing to do with politics, because it's just the product that you have to just owe to everything that you want to do. You know what I mean? But if you're buying something about online or whatever, if you're watching Death in the Nation or whatever, that's for those supporters and all that, it can be worse. That could happen. It could be like Death in the Nation, Birth of the Nation, you know. It can be anything else. You know what I mean? Anything else of the people that can just going to be outrageousness and worse. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, you need to make your own decision that you want to do. But it's not up to me, it's up to God. You'll have to make your own opportunity that you wanted to do. You know what I mean? But this isn't about death. But you have to make your own creation of love and fear and hopeless. That's why you have to create good friends and great relationships that you want to have to take with, you know. It's okay. You want to take that community connection to earn the trust. Just don't say shut up and dribble, or don't say like shut up and drive, you know. Save it for like when people they just when they're trying to have to mind their own business about the Civil War, or minding their own businesses about between Donald Trump and the worthless politics that was been going on. So remember that in your head. There is a lot of issues with this stuff. And that's it. And I will believe you understand this. But shut up and drive is something that you need to complain people that you just don't like. You know what I mean? But it's all good, you know? I'm sure you understand about this stupid situation now. And that's it. Well, I'm glad you came to watch this video. So the whole minute of the hour of this video. So I hope you can get. This is what happens to me when I push those buttons by accident. When I tell some people that in a bad way. So that happens to me on YouTube. So I don't want this happen again this year, because it's a little too far about this stuff. So just don't complain about me, because or else it would be Civil War, and I would say shut up and drive. So if whoever people starts a Civil War, I don't need none of that. I'll do it on your own. I don't need this stuff. That's it. That's gonna owe people money. That's gonna owe jobs. That's gonna owe some shit from people there. From between relationships and friends. They can owe it for that. You know what I mean? And I don't want none of that. You know? So if you listen to me, this is gonna help you to relax and just deal with shut up and drive. Drive your own routine, drive your own car, drive your own relationships, and drive your own friends, and drive your own. The biggest routine that you have is the money. Drive with your own money, and drive with your own jobs. You know what I mean? And drive your own real media. That's it. Don't listen to the people that are trying to start a civil war. If they do, shut up and drive. That's all good. So I think that's the end of the video. So I would like to say thank you to watch this video. So this is Eagle Odyssey. Keep it Odyssey, keep it real. And thank you for watching. Thanks for joining us.